All right, we're back. This is Jamerica with Jamerica Life. If you don't already know me, I deleted the other live because it was just, and you're crooked. I deleted the other live because, well, the quality was bad. And I'll just wait for a couple of, there it is, a couple of people to come in. So I was thinking today, you have these things planted in your greenhouse. And if you don't know about the way I plant, this is the old way or one of the ways that I plant. There's several ways you can plant. I didn't have a lot of space. So when I started this, I'm covering up what people are saying. Let me just a moment. I see this 3 or 4 people in here. Official Jamia, how you doing? Jessica, grow with me. How are you doing? Front porch gardener, hello. So I didn't have a lot of space, and I have a small grow station. I had like 2 wire racks that I was growing on. And when I planted these eggplant, because that's what this is, I just throw a whole bunch of seeds into a pot, especially if they're small seeds like tomatoes, peppers, and eggplant. Cucumbers, I kind of space them out because they're bigger seeds, but the smaller the seed is, the more I plant. Callaloo, I just dust the whole tray. I usually use a bigger tray than this for callaloo, but I just dust the whole tray, and when they come up, they come up. Same thing with asparagus. Asparagus is smaller than tomato and eggplant and bell pepper, but it's bigger than callaloo. Callaloo is dust level, kind of like a lot of herbs. So this is one of the way I plant. And last year, I went and got some Dollar Tree seeds, and these are Dollar Tree seeds. And it's a Black Beauty eggplant. And I didn't realize how prolific eggplant is. Eggplant stays around, and it's pretty, by the way. It has purple flowers, just like the purple fruit. And I think it's beautiful. I think it's such a pretty plant. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pot some of these jokers up. I'm never going to put them in the ground. About 2 of them, just as ornamental and, for eggplants. But I like them because they stay around until the winter takes them out. And from what I could tell of nightshades, tomatoes, bell peppers, and eggplant, cucumbers are not. I said that before. Cucumbers are like with the melons and everything because they're viney. These are perennials. You can grow them. You can grow them for years. I have pepper plants that are going on 3 years. Now, they don't look very nice, but I'm going to try to fertilize them and bring them back to health. And if they don't come back to health, well, they're still putting out. So, especially my Scotch bonnet, my habanero, and what is that other one? Cayenne pepper. They're just putting out, especially the cayenne pepper. How you doing, Southern Girl, City Gardener? How you doing? Welcome back. I'm sorry about what happened a few minutes ago, but I had an extender there, and it seemed like the extender made it worse. So I unplugged it. Then I had tomatoes, those tomatoes behind me, right here. These, see the red back there? They were all over the table because I set them out so they can ripen, but I had to clean the table in order to do this, and I want my tomatoes to get all dirty and nasty looking. I don't know how I got a weed in here. I thought this was fresh soil. So I have some soil in here in a bucket, right? That I poured water in. So it's basically mud. I may have put too much water in here, but I'm mixing it up because the top stuff seemed like, yeah, the top stuff is dry. So boat planting. There may be another name. That's just what I call it because I use layman terms. There's some people who can tell you how to tell you what things are, but when they try to do it themselves, they don't do very well. And I don't understand how you can know the terminology and then not be able to do it. It's like they say, those who can't teach. I'm teaching, but I can also do, hopefully. I'm not as good as other people, though. I've seen some very talented gardeners, not just on TV, in my neighborhood. They don't want the fanfare. I'm having my tomatoes are doing good, but my peppers, I need a pepper class. And I was watching Harvey Harvey Container Gardening, and her peppers. Her peppers were awesome. Do I see something moving in there? I do. Let me get this thing out of here. I think that's a cucaracha. Let me get this out. I'll be right back. I got it, y'all. That joker popped up out of the soil. I was like, oh no, I don't have that problem. I got it. I got it before it scurried off. This is why. So I've told you guys about I'm terrified. I don't want an infestation. And that was a big one, man. It was not big, but it was big enough for me. I was like, it was popping up out of the soil, looking at me like, hi. Woo! I dropped the plant, the cucaracha, tried to scurry off. I hope it didn't have any friends. Let me go look. Just a minute. All right, dirt is all over the floor, but I'll sweep that up, and it's the corpse is over there. I was like, why is the dirt moving? This is why now I tried to do it outside because this thing has been in the greenhouse. Apparently there are cockroaches in the greenhouse. Lord have mercy. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it to see if it's moving. I got it. I stepped on it, so it should be fine. All right, I keep my eye over there. I do not want those things in my house. I was talking about that the other day, and it's so strange that this happened. It's like an omen. I was like, don't be bringing them boxes or those plants, them outside plants in your house unless you want to have to, get an exterminator in your house because you're going to bring some bugs in. And I'm speaking from experience. I hope I didn't bring any cockroaches in here until now, but I bring some ugly bugs. One year I had some weird stuff in the house. And I was like, what the heck is that? And they were just coming out of the freaking plants. So if you have trees, like some people say, I'm going to bring my trees in. You make sure you do something. You put something in that soil to kill them bugs before you bring it in your house, or you're going to have an infestation and exterminators. My cousin's an exterminator. They're expensive. He made good money. He owns the company. He makes good money. He said, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many, who has a bug problem in their house. And it's usually because you bring it in. All right. Poor eggplant. Let me make sure. I'm just going to tiptoe around it now. Make sure there's nothing else in there. None of its friends in there. Man. Okay. Get it together, Jamerica. So, yeah, he said, you'd be surprised what people bring in the house. And he said, not only is it the plants that, like if we get it from Lowe's, usually if we get it from Lowe's and Home Depot and all that place, most of the time, I take that back. I have found roaches in those plants. In those trees. I had a loquat that I bring in here one day. Something, same thing, same scenario. I saw something popping up out of the soil and I looked, cockroach. Man, I dragged that thing out. I ran that thing out. I had this house so quick, I probably could have killed myself because I was running like I was sprinting it out of my house because I didn't know if there was one or more. And here I am, same scenario, except I planted this. So this came from my greenhouse. I know better next time. I'm gonna stay outside. So we're already in here. So these are eggplant, and as you can see, they're way too big. Oh, let me give you a caveat. Another thing that can bring those bugs in your house are those boxes. We order stuff from Walmart. I hate to say it, Wally World. We order stuff from the Amazing store, and they have subcontractors, and you do not know what the conditions are in those places. And my cousin told me, the exterminator, he told me, he said, you get the boxes from these places, right? And the bugs are in there eating the glue. And when they run out of food, they scurry out and they're all over your house. And some of them are super hard to get rid of. Something like that one. They're bad. They're hard to get rid of. So we have our eggplant here, and I don't know. This don't look like much, but it is. So I have my pots here, right? I hope I don't get any more surprises. Now I'm all freaking out. Being super careful. Looking at it like, okay. Any more Jack in the Boxes gonna pop up? So I got my soil here, right? That is really, really damp. I didn't mean to make it this damp, but it's okay. And I'm just gonna fill these things up. From this little pot, from this little plant, I'll probably get at least 12 to 15 of these. So let me look at the thing. Jamerica, Sylvia Garden, how you doing? Official Jamia said, I'm cracking up because I'm the same way. Southern City Girl said, you were moving so fast. I didn't want that thing to run. Man, I didn't want that thing to escape. Not alive anyway. Shoot, I was trying to run out the door, but I couldn't get it out the door quick enough. It tried to hop out. That's when I dropped it. Dropped it on the floor like a darn fool. That's the worst place you could drop it. Then I had to look through the dirt and see if anything's moving and try to run off. It ran the wrong direction because the freezer is right there into the open, and that was the end of that. Gotta laugh. Oh, gotta laugh. I can only imagine myself, sitting on my couch and something like that scurries across the top of the couch or something. It will freak me out. I would bomb this whole house. I don't care how much money it costs. I bomb the house and put boric acid. My grandmother didn't have a problem with cucarachas because she had boric acid everywhere. Everywhere. It was all around the baseboards. I don't know if it's a Jamaican thing or not, but she put boric acid all around the baseboards. White stuff was everywhere. And I used to say, what the heck is that? And then I found out what it is. Some people call it roach away. But it's boric acid. She had no bugs. And she didn't leave no food out. None. Not a scrap. She cleaned her kitchen every night. That, once you get them, because she had a tenant upstairs who was basically breeding them. And there was really nothing she could do about the lady upstairs except evict her. And she felt, she liked the lady, but the lady, when she moved in, apparently she moved in from a place that had problems like that, and she brought them into the house. So my grandmother, I could only imagine. I could see my grandmother doing it because she was when we came back home. She was in her 60s, and the boric acid was already there because Miss Sadie upstairs was already living up there. And eventually my grandmother told her she had to go. And it wasn't because of that. It was because she said she wanted her kids to come back home, and Sadie was holding up space. So Sadie got kicked out because of family. Grandma was like, family first, bye. I like you, but my daughters and my son need a place to stay. You gotta go. So that's what happened to Sadie. So I have 3, 6. I'm gonna do at least 9 of them, and then we'll move on from there. I'm gonna have to clean this table off, and I'm definitely gonna have to sweep the floor. Did that thing move? It did. I'll be back. Jesus Christ! I'm glad I was watching it. It went. Is she still there? Oh my God! Oh my God! It ain't getting back up this time. It's gone for sure. Now, I was already told not to do that because sometimes when you do that, they said that it spreads their eggs. But I don't know. I didn't see it. It didn't look like it was pregnant to me. It was moving again. Freaking, oh my God. I'm afraid of those jokers, but I ain't too afraid to step on them. I'll tell you that. I ain't gonna let, That one little thing would have 100 of them in my house. I'm gonna spray this house after I get up alive. Just in case. Just in case it had a friend that I didn't see. Okay. There we are. So I have 9 of them right here. You see how quickly I go back to what I was doing? But shoot. I'm looking at it. Making sure it don't move again. I think Joker was playing possum. All right. So we're going to pull this thing across. I'm going to pull this thing out. And we have slowly take them off. And I take my finger, make a hole, put them in there, and pinch it down. Now, peppers are not like tomatoes. They don't have those, from what I could tell, they don't have those little furry things on the side. So don't expect them to develop roots, or don't plant them too deep is what I want to say, because they're not going to redevelop roots. So you plant them at a sensible size. So we got one done. And here we are. We got another one. Ned is Nance, how you doing? Southern City Girl, I love planting on in odd numbers. So do I, but you never know when you plant a bunch of seeds like that. You don't know what you're going to get. Most of the time I like planting in odd numbers, at least 3. When I order plants, now with trees, I only order 2 because I can't afford 3. And I don't have the space for 3 plants. Sometimes I do though, sometimes, very, very rarely. But with plants, at least 3. 3, 5, and go on and on from there. I don't know about 7, but 9, I'll do that. Something about it. So there's another one there, right? And all I'm doing, move this out the way. Move that out the way. All I'm doing is putting them in the pot and planting them. Some people say, you know, it's too late for you to plant your stuff. Don't be listening to them. Don't listen to them. Plant your things. It's never too late. As a matter of fact, sometimes, now tomatoes, if it gets too hot, all the flowers fall off and you ain't gonna get no fruit in Texas because it's really hot here. But you see these eggplant, I'm planting them. They're not going in the ground right now, but they are like replacement / hole fillers. Because in the summer heat, you're going to lose some plants. And you're going to need some or you should have some backups. Always keep backups. Now we can't keep these things, we can't keep these things in the pot too long. We keep them in here for a while, a couple of months. It's not going to hurt them. That's why I'm planting them in these pots. The bigger the pot you have, the longer the plant can stay in there. You keep, just like I kept them in this little pot, it stunts their growth and they just slow down. They're not gonna, they'll grow now that they have more room. They have their individual pots. But if you keep them in a little pot like this, same thing with trees. You keep them in a little pot, you're gonna get a big tree. And eventually it's gonna be root bound and you won't have it at all. And that goes for plants and trees. So you have to give the plant room to grow. Hello, David, Corey, how you doing? Hello, Ned is next. I already talked to her. Let's see. Y'all are just saying hi to each other. So there, right there is 5. And I told you I put too much water in this thing. I should have bring a towel or something here, because shoot, this thing is really wet. All I'm doing is pulling them apart. See that? Putting it down and covering them back up. Y'all hear my chicks? I always got chicks. I had to slow down though. I had too many. A couple of months ago. Way too many. I got overzealous and started hatching. I said, shoot. This set, last set for a while until I could sell some of these jokers off. It's not the food, it's that I'm working myself to death trying to keep them everybody fed. In the morning, I go out there and I feed the chickens, I feed the chicks, I feed the chickens, and then I feed the quail. Yesterday was processing day for some of them male quail. There's too many in there and they were hopping out of the cage and running away. So I processed about, I say 8 to 10 of them. Quail tastes good, by the way. I think it tastes better than chicken. Unfortunately for them. I also have a bunch of roosters that I try to sell them first, but if I can't sell them, I'm processing. I went and bought a plucker because I kept, I got tired of the way I was doing it, the rustic way. So I went and bought a plucker, but I have to put it together. I don't think I'm gonna bring y'all along for that because I'm a real I was born and raised in New York City. I'm a country city girl, a city country, a girl who has how do you say it? I have assimilated to Texas. I was already this way. I was there this way all my life. A lot of people don't know, just because you're from New York don't mean you ain't on a farm. New York State used to be the dairy capital when I was a kid. I don't know if it still is, but New York State is mostly farms. Most people don't know that. All everybody ever sees is New York City, and that is not all there is. The rest of the state, the bigger part of the state, is all country. All of it. I know because I worked on a farm in the Catskills in the summertime. If I were to buy any other livestock, if y'all don't know, I have rural property, right? I have rural property, not just, this is not all there is. Let me take some chickens out there, by the way. But if I were to get another type of animal, it would be sheep. Don't ask me why. I worked on a sheep farm. We had sheep, mostly sheep. We had some goats. We had some geese. We had some ducks, and we had chickens. That was it. Mostly sheep, though. So I was raised, around, or in the summertime, I was on a farm. Wintertime, I was in the heart of the city. And I did not like it. Never liked it. I actually wanted to stay in the country, but my family wouldn't let me. They're like, nope, you got to come back home. Summertime is over. I was in the Catskills, I think 3 months out of the year. Well, all summer. And we get in New York, we used to get out of school, I think in June, late June. And then we went back around just before Labor Day, or on Labor Day. I think it was just before Labor Day, if I remember right. So I was there on the farm until like a week after school got out, and a week before school started. I come back. I came back with money because they paid me to be on the farm. I didn't go there for free. I worked. I was working. Them sheep, man. Goats are worse, though. Sheep escape because they're just dumb. That's all I'm going to say. Hogs, however. We had a hog farmer that was, let me see what y'all would say. We had a hog farmer that was about 5 miles away, 10 miles away. Because it was a big farm that I was on. And we had, not only did we have that piece of property, but they leased other parcels so that the sheep could graze. But there was a hog farmer down the block, and we could smell that joke. It smelled, it's like this sweet, y'all ever been around a hog farm? Chicken farms smell worse, though. Hog farms smell bad, though. They got hogs around, woo. Chicken farms, though, worse. Believe it or not. I think that, or chicken processing plants, Jesus Christ. You can smell that stuff a mile away. Bad. Let me see. Just to grow with me. I'm a New Yorker, and my mommy had a garden. Look at me now. In Georgia, GA, LOL. Yeah, so we all leave. It used to be that a lot of New Yorkers left and went to Florida, but shoot. Florida was on my list until I thought about the hurricanes. I was like, There's hurricanes in Texas, but Texas is way bigger than Florida, and Florida's near that water. We might get some. It might get one part of Texas, but it ain't gonna get the whole of Texas. And hopefully that part of Texas it get ain't where I am. So I don't wish that on anybody. Hurricanes are no joke. New York used to not get hurricanes, but shoot. So let me go back to what I was saying. That is why I didn't go to Florida. Because I knew Florida was trouble. I was like, a lot of New Yorkers go to Florida. It used to be the thing. People that's all they talked about. They said, all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna finish my little job, I'm gonna go out to Florida and get myself a house. And a lot of them did it. They meant that crap. However, now a lot of them are sorry because insurance is going up. Insurance and the property taxes, well, that's happening here in Texas too. Insurances went up, property taxes went up, but not as bad. Them assessments, and from what I hear, the assessments in Florida is making people just pack up and go and walk away. Kind of like what happened when we had a Hurricane Harvey and everybody's property flooded. They just said, to heck with it. I know people, some of my friends, they just got what they could, the little stuff. They just walked away from the house because the insurance, if you didn't have flood insurance, they didn't pay it. And they couldn't afford to pay it, so they just let it go. And if you get mold in your house, they ain't gonna do nothing. I know that for a fact. Southern City Girl Garden in Jamerica, is the water getting close to the laptop? No, it's right here. There's a little line. And this thing is, there's a hump here. Hopefully it don't get on me though. Trying to squeeze it out like a sponge before I put it on the... What was that? That was a frog. Lord. Okay. He jumped out. His little... Where'd it go? I am not having a good day planting today. Is this a sign that I'm not supposed to do this? Where did the frog go? It was little and it looked at me. Jesus Christ. This is the worst planning session that I've ever had. My dogs will eventually find that little joker. Oh my God. How did it get in there? How did it get in there? All right, y'all. All right, let's go. It's probably still in the bucket waiting on me. All right. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Make a hole. Y'all all laughing? Man, it's not funny. I don't know what that... I ain't scared of frogs, though. I'm not scared of frogs at all. Them cockroaches. That's what I'm afraid of. All right. And my dogs, they would have got it by now, but I have two of them upstairs. The only one down here is the one that don't give a darn. She over there asleep. I'm like, whatever. She didn't even move. What if I had been attacked, Philomena? She's still sitting there. She's still laying there. She didn't get up. She's like, oh, this drama queen. She's disturbing my rest. I'm over here trying to catch a nap, get some disease, and she over there hooting and hollering. She has not moved, God. Only reason why I know she's still alive because I can see her breathing. She don't give a doggone. She's only here for the food. Sylvia, everybody laughing. Consciously living, how you doing? H2O Savior, how you doing? You missing the excitement. I've been attacked by bugs, frogs, all kind of wildlife. I brought all kind of wildlife in here, and this soil is from a bag. But that cucaracha was in the plant, so it wasn't in the soil. It was in the soil that was already planted. This is new stuff. Freaking. There it is. It's trying to hop out. It's still in there. It's in the bucket. Whatever. I'm looking at it. It's a small frog, but it's a frog. Get back down there. Get back down there. My God. Squeezing all this stuff out. And I should have been doing this all along. Hopefully I'll pick that frog up and jump on me again. All right, I got another one here. Ramona Johnson, how you doing? Anna's backyard garden. Good morning, Jamerica. Glad this popped up. Yay. Laugh out loud. Yeah, it's full of surprises today. I'm getting to get. So, wow. How many do I have? 4, 8, 12. My goodness. I'm going to have 20 plants here. And I didn't plant the whole thing. So, let me tell you something about bulk planting. Count your seed. Don't be like me. I didn't plant the whole pack of seeds, but it seems like I did, right? And I always think to myself when I'm planting stuff that, this damn frog, and when I'm planting stuff that I'm not going to have a good germination rate, right? Not true. I always get a good germination rate. Always. The only thing that wouldn't grow for me was that doggone stevia. Oh, another thing that wouldn't grow for me was lettuce until I cracked the code on that. I was having problems with lettuce. And I was like, okay, lettuce is supposed to be super easy to grow. So Paris lettuce will grow for me, no problem. The rest of them, no bueno. Until I put them in the refrigerator, stratified them, then they sprout. So that was the cracking the code for me because I was having problems with that doggone lettuce. And I was like, how you going to say you're a gardener? Because I'm believe it or not, I'm hard on myself. I was like, how you going to say you're a gardener and you think you're a good gardener? You can't even grow lettuce. Embarrassing. I could grow spinach because I know spinach has to be stratified. So that's why I started stratifying my lettuce, because the spinach, I knew that had to go in the refrigerator. At least for me. Some people have luck with spinach. That's because they're in a cold area. Let's see. Sylvia Gardner video. Critters trying to scare you. They ain't trying. You see me over here screaming. I'm still looking over there to see if anything is moving over there. Still looking because, shoot, I'd rather see it now than see it later. That damn frog just popped up out of the doggone. Let me get it. Come on. I'm trying to save you. The dog's going to eat it. It's a little itty bitty frog. Just a moment. Where'd it go? He's over there. I'll find it later. I'm not going to let the devil take me out, because that's what it is. Somebody don't want me to do a live today. Or something don't want me to do a live today. And I'm going to do this live because I decided to do it. And y'all need to see the error of my ways. Don't count your seeds. When you put them on the dirt, even if you have to pinch them and slowly count them, don't just shake them and count like that, because that's what I did. And look, this is more eggplant than I expected. Here's another one. Just from that little pot. The same pot that I'm putting it in is the pot that it came out of. I know that frog gonna jump on me later on, and I'm gonna be hopping around the house like a frog, screaming till I realize what it is. Should have just stepped on it. I didn't want to kill it. No. My chickens eat frogs. They run around the yard today with a frog in their mouth, just dragging it out of each other's mouths and running off with it. It was a game, like a football game, touch football. Poor things didn't take. First, I thought it was chickens. Chickens will eat bugs. They will eat small animals. They will, if they out in the country. Apparently, a mouse or a rat decided to build a nest in the chicken coop, right? Them jokers found that nest and was running around eating the babies. Chickens are not. Chickens are scavengers. They eat whatever they come across. They'll try to eat it. One of them will peck it to see if it's safe, and then the rest of them will join in. Let me see. Oh, everyday life of an OCD chick. How you doing? Let me see. Ramona Johnson, doing good. Laugh out gardening surprises at its best. Get everyday life of OCD chick. I'm afraid of frogs. Oh no, I'm afraid of cockroaches. Frogs, man, we used to. I ain't gonna say because y'all gonna think we're little psychopaths or something. We used to do terrible things to frogs when I was kids. I'm not afraid of those. I am not afraid. Frogs and snails, I'm not afraid of those things. I feed my chickens snails. When I find them jokers out in the backyard, they are gonna have escargot. Chickens like, I told you they like bugs. Well, somebody said that don't feed the chicken snails, they're gonna get sick. Chickens eat bugs. That's what they do. That's part of what they do. And they'll eat small animals. So I don't know where y'all been, but I wasn't raised out in the country, but shoot, I'm here and I know certain things. When you know, I may not have had chickens the longest, but you can learn a lot when you observe. Not other people, do it yourself. There's only so much, like I'm planting here, but there's only so much I can show you. You have to experience yourself. Get your hands dirty, and man, chickens will eat anything. Anything. You gotta be careful because sometimes they eat something that's gonna make them sick. So you gotta be careful about that. But if a rodent builds a nest in that coop out in the country, them babies ain't gonna make it. They were looking for it, and I went out there to redo their water, right? And that's where the nest was, and I was like, "What is that freaking hole? Why is there a hole here?" So apparently, the big mama or whatever she was, I didn't see her either. She wanted to be close to their food, but she paid for it because they ate all once I moved the water dish and the nest was exposed, them babies were gone. I saw them running around with them in their mouth. I said, "What the heck is that?" And I heard eat. And I said, "Well, that's what she get for trying to steal their food, making like she was trying to get close to the food source and the water source, but it wasn't worth it because them jokers ate every last one of them." I got a fly on my screen. I put down that, and it was half dead. I put down that fly bait, that strike bait. I know everybody's having problem with flies and mosquitoes, mostly flies. Go and get that strike bait and put some vinegar in it, and them jokers will not be around long. Especially if you have animals, chickens. Oh, they ain't in the chicken coop. They were over there with them damn quail. Them quail are messy. That's all I'm gonna say. Messy and mean. That's why I went ahead and culled a couple of them, because I put my hand in there to go and feed them. Do you know they were pecking my knuckles? And they were pecking my knuckles for blood. Them jokers would go for blood. I was like, okay, if I was really, if I had some kind of medical emergency, it fell down around some quail, man, they picked me apart. By the time somebody found me, they picked me apart. They'll eat meat. And they attack each other much less, and they were attacking me until yesterday. Now they all docile. Now that a couple of their friends disappeared, I try not to let them know what I was going to do till the last minute. There's too many males in there. They were beating up my females. All right. So I'm down to my last two. Ramona Johnson. Yes, I have trouble growing stevia. I watched a video that says sprinkle the seeds over, wet the soil, and cut. Stevia is hard. I just went to Azure Standard. The last time I talked about it, I said it was $4.75. It's $4.25 for a stevia plant at Azure Standard. That's the cheapest I found it, and I got 3 of them. I should have got more, and I upplanted them recently because when you get them, they're about 8 inches high, which is big. Sylvia, Anna's backyard garden. Are you going to see those? Anna's backyard garden. Are you going to see those plants? I don't know what you're talking about. Everyday life, as I said. Hey, official Jamia. I just dropped some eggplant this morning, along with a lot of other stuff. Well, I hope you didn't do what I did. Because where am I gonna put all this stuff? I have a big yard, but I don't want my whole yard to be vegetables. It's not a farm. And out in the country, well, it's dry out there. That the dirt it's just no good. I'm gonna just say the truth. The soil is bad. It's rock. If you buy something off, and that's why it was cheap, apparently. When you buy something, right, even if it's like a 1/4 acre, small piece of land, or less than that, go ahead and make sure, if you're gonna build a house, you make sure you do a perk test, unless you got city lines there. And bring a shovel with you. Make sure that joker is not rock. I should have did that. Because it's rock out there. And there's nothing but a bunch of pine trees out there. But pine will grow anywhere. Pine will grow anywhere. So I figured that the pines were there and that it was good. Luckily, I was able to put sewage out there. But that was it. Can't grow. Well, I'm going to try to grow some stuff because I got a whole bunch of trees. But I have to use a pickaxe to get in. I might bring y'all out there with me because that's going to be some hard work. Or a jackhammer and put some soil in there, bring some of the soil out there. So we planted all our eggplant, right? This is 4, 8, 16, 22. Let me count again. 8, 16, 22. 22 plants out of just one of these. When you're planting your seedlings, I'm going to say it one more time. Make sure you count the seeds. I only wanted like maybe 8. And I got 22. I might share with my neighbor. I don't know if she needs any eggplant, and she plants in raised beds. She only has so much room, but shoot, I got too many. So I'm gonna wait till these things. Now, most of the time when I plant, I put these stuff in bigger planters. They survive. I don't have seedling attrition because I buy decent soil. Now, I did have it one time. I bought some, I'm not gonna say the brand because everybody knows the brand. It's in a green bag. And them jokers dampened off. I was so ticked. If you find a soil that works, stick to it. Don't go and buy cheaper stuff or try new stuff. I mean, I tried new stuff and I ended up having to replant a whole pot. Now I have a lot of tomatoes, luckily, but I had to end up replanting a whole bunch of tomatoes because I started planting in January. And they dampened off because of the soil, because I went and got some cheap soil that I didn't know anything about. So don't do what I do. Find something that works. Go ahead and just stick to it. Everyday life. So the frogs are always jumping around me. Yeah, they're all over this place. And there's backyard gardening. A rodent, they ate it. They ate all of them. Every last one of them. They're running around. They had a smorgasbord. After I moved that water thing, they found them almost immediately. And I kept on wondering why they kept on surrounding this one, because I put cement trays out there with water, as well as the water, the water things that you can buy from Tractor Supply. Let me tell you about those things. They leak, and if you only use that, you better have a backup source because your chickens will not have any water. You're going to have to check that dish every day. The one I have out here in this coop has drained on me several times. If it has, and the plastic ones, they crack. They're exposed to sunlight. After a while, they're going to turn opaque white. And any little thing, they just shatter after a while. I've had mine for about 3 years, and I have had to throw out 3 of them. And they're not cheap. They're like $30, $40 each. So I use cement trays out here because they last longer. Um, Jan, Janetta Blessed. That's a good thing that they saved you from having a bunch of rats eating your stuff. That wasn't out here. That was out in the country. I don't out there. It's the wild, wild west. I don't plant nothing out there. Everything grows wild. The only thing I try to do is make sure that the grass doesn't get too high. I did see a snake out there last time I went out there, so I got to go out there and cut down some of that brush. Another thing is brush is something that you have to control, especially in Texas because we have fires. You don't want a bunch of brush around your stuff. I don't want my chickens to get all burnt up. uh Anna's backyard garden. Are you selling those seedlings? No, I don't sell seedlings. Mm-mm. No, I don't do that. I guess I could, but they say, because I checked, I was going to open a stand in one of these towns around here, and I was going to sell eggs. I might still do that. But they say you have to have a license, a landscape, a horticulture license or something like that, nursery license, that's what it is, in order to sell plants. But I've seen people sell plants at the swap meet. They don't got no license. I'm not going to do it, though, because I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to be bothered. People... how can I say it? People don't want to pay you for your work. And say I sell this plant, because you can't buy these plants. They're going to get way bigger than this. You can't buy this for $1. But if I was selling it for $1 out of the swap meet, somebody would try to get it for 15, 25 cents. That's just how some, not all people, some people operate. They try to whittle, or they try to basically, first of all, if you sell this for 50 cents, well, you're probably going to lose money. With your time, the soil, the pot, you're going to lose money. So $1 is reasonable, but some people don't want to pay that. So I don't do it because I get irritated. I'm like, what? I'll pack my stuff up and go because I don't want to be fighting with people. Because I got a bad temper, and I don't unleash. What did I tell this one girl? I remember I was at work, and this one girl tried to bully me. She was a trip. And I looked at her. I gave her a crazy smile because I needed to let her know who she was dealing with. I might be little, but I ain't to be played with. So she said, I need you to do this. She's a big girl. Big girl. Big and big. And I looked at her, right? Because something in me just triggered, right? I got pissed real quick. It was just like that. And there's sometimes when people do stuff to you, with me, it just happens. It just flips, right? So I looked at her, I said, let me tell you something. You see this person you're looking at right now? This is the nice Jamerica. But when that other bee takes over, well, Jamerica is out of the picture and she's not coming back. So after I told her that, her eyes got real wide because I was like, I ain't going to play with you, girl. I'm not going to play with you. I'm on nicey and stuff like that. So that is why I don't go and sell to people, because they get on my doggone nerves and I might flip. I don't want to end up in jail. It'd be like, she was so nice and then she wasn't. I can't believe her. And you know, it's not just me. My whole freaking family's like that. Oh my God. And I could see it coming. I talked about Tyrone before. Tyrone is the nicest, sweetest guy. And he'll be like, yo, man. He's a big dude, by the way. Yo, man, don't do that, man. Don't do that, man. That ain't nice. And then they'll push him like one more, like it's like a hair. They'll drop a little hair and he'll flip and start tearing the damn place up. I ain't big enough to do it because I ain't over 6 foot, but the whole family's like that. And you know, we try to warn people, especially when it comes to my cousins and my brothers. I'm like, yo, man, just leave them alone, man. Just go. And they're like, no. You know how some people want to press and then they're sorry. Them jokers are crazy. Not my family. They flip in a bad way, in a bad, scary way, and we all know that about each other. So we try to warn outsiders. Leave them alone. Leave them alone before that other. I'm gonna call it Tyrone and Ty before Ty show up. Or T-Bone, before they used to call him T-Bone in the streets in New York. I said, there's Tyrone and there's T-Bone, and T-Bone is a thug. Damn. I remember I met this one girl, and we went to school together. We were grown. I was in my 30s, right? She looked at me, and she looked at me. She said, I know who you are. I was like, I had no idea who this chick was. We was in a different country. I was in the military. So was she. She said, you're the cousin of that bully. Tyrone. Tyrone was a bully. I didn't know. He was my cousin. He was a bully to me. I was like, oh, really? I didn't know that. Nobody bothered me in school. I was the only little light-skinned girl in school in a minority neighborhood. You know how that is. Shoot. Nobody messed with me. They all just left me alone. It was because of him. He was a wolf in sheep's clothing, and I didn't know it. Anyway, enough about Tyrone. He's like, we're the same age. We're in the same grade. And all that time, I didn't know he was protecting me. Let me tell you what these jokers would do. They would take girls' shoes or a weak person's shoes and throw it in the mud. And it's cold in New York. Cold. You take your shoes off, hold you down, take your shoes, throw it in a puddle of mud, and you have to walk home in disgrace, sloshing about, freezing, because it was cold. Never happened to me. I watched other kids. I remember one time, some little, I think it were little Puerto Rican guys tried to come in. They were in my class. They were like, get her, get her, get her. And somebody walked up and said, hey, yo, that's Tyrone's cousin. And they all looked and they walked away. It was him. Anyway, she told me what I didn't know. Or like everyday life of OCD. I'm sorry if I missed some of your comments. Yes, yes, know yourself. I know I met me in person. Is nothing like when I the first time, and then I'm gonna get off this subject real quick. We used to have to run. We had this crazy colonel, and we used to have to run about 5 miles every Wednesday in Afghanistan, which is super dangerous, right? It was called Perimeter Road. It was in Bagram. And I kept on praying because I have a strong belief in God, right? If you don't know. And I kept on saying, God, why me, God? Why me? And, the more you talk, the more you run, you get clarity as a runner. That's why a lot of runners called runner's high. And I kept on talking to him. And I was like, and then it says, you know what? Why not you? And I think after I realized who I was and I looked through my life, because some people don't like stillness. Some people always have to have noise around them because they don't want to know who they really are. Well, I met myself. And I'm not saying I'm perfect because there's a lot of things that I've done wrong, but you got to know your limitations. So that's why I avoid situations that I know are going to trigger me, because I know that my entire family has triggers. All of us, we get triggered, not like that, but it's like a slow drip until threshold, and then it's all over for everybody. Everybody think we crazy. Ramona Johnson, that's me and my family too. I know, peaceful people. We had a tenant who said, she said, they're peaceful people. She's a West Indian, Jamaican. And my family is Jamaican, right? They're peaceful people, which means she was saying that we were weak, right? Man, they caught her butt on the porch. Let's just say it didn't go well for her. She was alive, but she called the police, and I think they might have arrested somebody in my family. But she did too much. She was doing too much, and they went off. They cornered the poor woman. She was on the porch at my house in New York, right? Where if you go into I don't know if y'all know it, but there's ours is up high, and then there's a railing, if you get on the porch, there's only one way out. They cornered that poor woman on the porch. She wasn't paying no rent, and she was talking mess. And it was, man, one day she talked a little bit too much, And she pushed one of my cousins, and that was it. I don't think she initiated it. And ooh, when they finished with her, Lord have mercy, she looked like Scat Cat. If y'all all tore up. Anna's backyard gardener laughing out loud. Sylvia's garden adventure. I call mine the girl I can't let out the closet. Shoot, I locked that heifer up. I'd rather just walk away because I got too much to lose. I'm like, oh man, I got this channel. It's especially somebody, trolls show up occasionally and usually not in the lives, thank God. But I'm like, no. What if never let somebody who doesn't have anything to lose make you lose what you got. And some people will try to trigger you on purpose because they want you to be where they are. They don't want you to, they think some people, I've heard people say, you think you better than me? I'm like, no, I don't think I'm better than anybody. But they feel that way and they want you to be where they are and they will drag you down. And that's how they do it. They try to trigger you. Let's see. Everybody laughing. Her Roots Garden Diary. Hey, Miss Jamerica in the chat. I'm so happy to catch your live on my lunch break. Man, you missed out if you just got here. A cockroach and a frog, all kind of weird stuff happened today. I feel like taking this soil out, but the cockroach was in the plant that was already planted. Official Jamia said, facts. Rona Johnson says, very peaceful. Just be careful, knocking on that door. On the other side, the other you won't like. Yeah, leave people alone. Leave them alone. I don't want to be over friendly with people. Some people don't want to be bothered, and if they don't want to be bothered, that's their right to be left alone. Just don't mess with people. Just do the best you can for yourself. And I have like, everybody's always looking at the rich folks and thinking that their lives are better than ours, because I'm not rich, right? I'm middle class. Or somebody with less is thinking that, my life is, everybody has something in their life that they're not happy about, or some things in their life that they're not happy about. Be appreciative for the health, or to be breathing, or for whatever you have. And that's the only way that, and moving forward and doing stuff for yourself, is the only way you're going to get out of that rut. It's the only way to make yourself happy. You cannot always compete with the person in the mirror. And I never, ever, ever, I pray that I have never, and I've heard people say this, that I thought I was better than anybody. I am not. I don't think I'm better than anybody. And I've heard, man, even my mom said that. My children, they thought that my children were this and that, but my children turned out better. I'll say, Mom, never say that. Because I'm afraid that might bring bad luck to us. And I'm like, don't ever say that, Mom, please. We are not better than anybody. Well, you did this and you're not. No, we are not. You don't know. Our life is not over. You don't know what can happen. So I never do that. I don't condone it. I don't do it. Some of my family does, but I don't do it. Let's see. Ramona Johnson's facts. Early everyday life of an OCD-ish chick is just saying hello. Gardening is great. I came in late. Your plants look nice. Ramona Johnson, so true. So these are all eggplants that I didn't mean to plant. I didn't mean to plant 20 of them, right? But that's what I got. So I'm grateful that God allowed me to have this. Make sure. 8, 16, 22. Sorry, I miscounted. So when you bulk plant, just be careful. Even if you're doing the seed snail roll, I have a thing on the seed snail roll. Let me see. Anna's backyard gardening. You better believe that. But I always thought rich people were happier, and I got dirt on there. And that most, but not anymore. I know better. They're not. A lot of them aren't. A lot of them are very depressed because they don't know. Some people don't know if people are around them because of their money or because they really like them. And a lot of times it's it's because of the money, or they don't have anybody to support them. It's just, I mean, everybody has something. I had my auntie's boyfriend, or fiance. She called me for fiance. They never got married. She passed away before they get married. I should say that. He used to say, his name was Chicky. He said, "We don't have a lot of money, but we got a lot of love." And when you went to their house, because they lived together, you could feel the peace in that house. I would rather be okay financially and have a peaceful house than go into a place that is super cold, or everybody in there is fighting or don't like each other. And the thing is, with sometimes people think that if they have money, they have peace. Not true. Not true. Peace, nobody can give you peace. I plant because I like to plant, and I like a peaceful atmosphere, and I like the way plants bring peace to me, because that's what I like to do. I believe that plants and live things bring peace to your home. I might be wrong, but for me, that's what it is. Some people don't have that. They don't do anything. They have other people to do it, or I don't know. Everybody got their thing. Never judge a book by its cover. Some people, the saddest people, usually walk around smiling all the time. Then one day we had one guy. He died. He hurt himself. We didn't even know. We didn't know he was depressed. I don't talk about him because he always makes me sad. Okay, and I believe you believe it, but I always thought, okay, David Corey just did a different way. David Corey, the best way. Ramona Johnson, you make your own peace. David Corey, peace comes from within. And for me, planting stuff helps me with peace. It helps me concentrate, and it's just a hobby that just happens to provide me a lot of stuff to eat. Sometimes, like this, sometimes I have so much produce, I'm like, what the heck? Where am I going to put this stuff? I got to buy another deep freezer because look at the tomatoes. I can't eat this. I can't eat all this. I have to freeze this. And there's some up there. This is from yesterday. Uh-oh. This is from yesterday. And I am so thankful because it's winter. I didn't have any tomatoes. I was ticked off at myself because usually I overwinter some wet tomatoes, and I didn't do it because I was like, oh, I got some in the freezer. And then I think around January, I ain't have no more tomatoes. I had to go and buy some. And you know how I feel about that. I was upset. I was telling myself off, fussing at myself while I was collecting tomatoes at the produce department. Talking about, you know better. You should have overwintered them, and you should have grown more because you don't. I was mad at myself. Blessed Star 733. Hello and all God bless y'all. My daddy always taught me those same morals. Pray for everyone and be thankful for just waking up and whatever we have. It's our duty to help others no matter what. Help others no matter their circumstances. I think that's what you want to say. Bless. Salutations for life, David Corey. True, 733. David Corey said that. Yeah, be grateful for what you have, because man, I'd rather health is everything. You can't buy health. You can't buy that joker. We're all born and we're all gonna end up gone. Just try to be a decent person while you're here. I don't want people to look back and say, you remember that Jamerica? She was a terrible person. I don't want that to happen. I'd rather not talk about me at all than talk about me bad when I'm gone. So I try to be a good person. So today's video was about planting, among other things. You know, we always get off topic. But I plant a lot of stuff. I produce a lot of stuff. Sometimes I produce more than I can. And I try to share with people because I can't eat all these eggs. I can't, eggs back there. I can't eat all these eggs. I can't do it. I do sell some, but what I can't sell, I try to give away. And some people might say, oh, that's dumb. You should sell them. Well, yeah. I already told you how I feel about that, right? I sell stuff, but shoot, these people be getting on my nerves. I tell them the chickens cost $25, and they were like, are you willing to negotiate? No. That's what it is. How much, and I put them out there, and they say, how much are you selling your hens for? And I'm like, 25 as advertised. You didn't read the you didn't read the ad? What's wrong with y'all? You want a cheap chicken? I'll sell you chickens, roosters, and hens are both chickens. I'll sell you a rooster for $7. Now I don't give people roosters and tell them that they're hens. I don't do that because that happened to me. And if I end up giving somebody a rooster and they call me, I take it back and I'll give them a hen. I believe in karma. I believe that stuff come back. I don't do that. I don't need any more bad luck because I've had some. So plant what you can. I'm not saying you have to share it. Do what you can, and if you can, sell it. And if you can't sell it, try to share it with somebody less fortunate than you that is either unable to plant or doesn't have the means. Because some apartment buildings with no balconies are popping up all over the Austin area. Million apartments, a million of them. And there's no, and I'm like, and it looks like, some of them look like cell blocks. I'm like, is that a prison or an apartment? They're like, oh, that's a new apartment buildings. I'm like, man, I don't even see where they have a bunch of windows. They have a few windows there, just enough so that, I don't know, it's not called a box, because it's basically a box with very few windows in it. It has to be dark in those apartments. I've never been in any of them. Yes, I have. I was being nosy and I went in one of them. It was dark in there. No balcony, no nothing. If you can get a balcony, at least you can go out there and grow your stuff. Or if you have a windowsill, at least you could grow some lettuce or something. But these apartment buildings, man, and they're everywhere. And somebody's like, it was like, why are there so many car washes showing up? Because of the apartment buildings. They can't wash their car at them apartment buildings. They got to go and wash their car at a car wash. Now, I go to a car wash too because I don't like washing in front of my house, washing my car in front of my house. But I don't have to. I can wash the car in front of my house if I wanted to because I got somewhere to do it. These people don't have nowhere to do it. And they can't grow. So if you have somebody, so everybody's like, well, I'm not going to share with them because they should be growing their own food. Some people simply cannot do it right now. Doesn't mean they're going to always be in that state, in that situation. But if you're living in an apartment building, you're limited. And what are you going to do? Put a grow tent up? A grow tent in your little apartment? Apartments are small. It's not easy. Not easy. Anyway, share with who you can. And, there was a time where I was like, I ain't giving nobody nothing because they should be growing their own stuff. And I'm looking at a lens of everybody having a backyard until I went to Austin the other day. I was like, apartments everywhere. And then I was like, where are they? Used to have balconies attached to the apartment. No more of that. No form of any. There's no way they could grow anything because they don't have enough light. Let me see. David Corey's. Let me see. David Corey, the crop. The stores do that. David Corey with the crop. They don't. What? They doing it here in Dallas too. Damn small. It's sad. It's sad the way they're doing people because people. What if you get sick? You need vitamin D. The only way you could probably grow something is to go and rent a lot, like Gina versus Gina did. Rent a plot at a different space, and some people don't have the money for that. Or, and I hate to say this, gorilla plant. Y'all know what that is? Nobody knows. Gorilla plant is when you go somewhere and you just throw some freaking seeds out. It's not on your property though. Just throw it out. I remember I was walking down the street And what was it? Not cucumbers. What was it? Pumpkin. Pumpkin just showed up out of nowhere. Gorilla plant. Somebody had thrown some darn seeds out, and the pumpkin was sprawling out. It was at my. Oh, it happened twice. It happened in Jamaica. We were walking, and pumpkins was coming out onto the path. And then at my job, me and this girl used to take walks during lunchtime, and pumpkin was sprawling out into the street. Somebody had gorilla planted. That's what I would do. That's the go to a park or somewhere, you know, and every now and then you come out with your little thermos like this, and you water that joker. You have your own little garden. Hopefully Parks and Recs don't find it because they usually chop it up. But gorilla plant. Let's see. GT Jr. Let me see. Wait a minute. David Corey. And they got rid of the old type car washes in Dallas. Yeah, it's just those automatic ones where you can't wash with the brush anymore. All them old time ones are disappearing. GT Jr. grows at Alaska. I have only washed my car once at my house. I haven't seen anyone wash their car in the neighborhood. I enjoy when I lived in apartments. I wash my car. Really? You can't do that here in Austin area. You better go to a car wash. You better not let them catch you. You have a chick jump out. You better not let them catch you using their water and washing it in their parking lot. It ain't like the old days. David Corey, gorilla planting is actually a good thing. Yeah. But it could be used for some other things. Like if you don't have a yard, get a couple of something prolific like tomatoes. Go to Dollar Tree, get some tomato seeds. Go to a secluded part of and hopefully nobody else finds it and harvest your stuff before you do. Go to a secluded part of the park, throw some tomato seeds out, sprawl a little bit of water on it, and come back and get it. Even though it's not your property. It's kind of like trespassing, but well, you do what you do. GT Jr. is laughing. Everyday life of an OCD chick is saying hello. Real Kitchen and Diva said, hey there. David Corey said, hi, Real Kitchen. Okay, so we've been on here a while. We planted a whole bunch of eggplants. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get these on a tray and I'm going to put them back outside because they have already been hardened off. These came from outside, hence the cockroach that popped out. I thank everybody for being with me today. We've talked about a bunch of things, non-plant related and plant related. Just try not to judge people. Try to share what you can because not everybody's in a situation where they can grow their stuff and be appreciative for what you have. This is Jamerica with Jamerica Life. I thank everybody for coming today. If you're new, please subscribe. And I hope you all continue to plant and continue to grow and continue to improve our situation as a group. There needs to be more gardeners out there. Bye, y'all.